Here's the good news.
What planet did you just? Wait a minute, Mr. Chairman. What planet did you just parachute in from?
No. Hey, guys.
You trigger my gag reflex, Mr. Bier.
In a room where every word is recorded for history, a single question can dismantle a carefully crafted reputation. When a witness assumes they are the smartest person in the room, they often forget who is holding the gavel. Behind the polite smiles and formal introductions, a trap is being set that no amount of rhetoric can escape. Watch carefully.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Kennedy.
Secretary Wolf, thank you for your service. Why, in your opinion, do so many, not all, but so many of my Democratic colleagues believe in open borders?
Well, it's a good question. I think it's a couple of different fronts. One, it would be they don't believe in immigration law. They don't like enforcement. They don't like removing of individuals. And they believe that there are some that believe that anyone and everyone should be able to come to the U.S., whether they apply for protections under U.S. law or not. And then there's some probably that would like to see more voters in the U.S. as well.
Ms. Vaughn, some of my colleagues, for whom I have great respect, believe that the 10th Amendment allows local governments to ignore federal immigration law and implement sanctuary policy. The Supreme Court has ruled that racial quotas represent a pernicious form of racial discrimination. Can local governments ignore that ruling under the 10th Amendment?
Well, the 10th Amendment is about...
Can just answer my question, please, ma'am.
The 10th Amendment is about commandeering, and so it's not really appropriate to this because...
Is the answer yes or no, ma'am?
Could you ask me again? Because I don't understand the relevance to... I'm sorry, I don't... Because ICE is not asking them
Secretary Wolf, you heard my question. Under the guise of the 10th Amendment, can local governments ignore a Supreme Court ruling?
I don't believe they can.
Okay. Women have the right to vote in America by statute and by constitutional interpretation. Under the guise of the 10th Amendment, can local governments just ignore that and prohibit women from voting?
No.
Okay. Mr. Duke, you worked for President Biden and Vice President Harris, didn't you?
Yes.
And I listened carefully to your testimony today. You expressed, well, you offered the opinion that the One Big Beautiful Bill is terrible in part because it will cause deficits. Is that right?
Yes.
Isn't it a fact that the profligacy of President Biden caused 9% inflation in America?
No.
Okay. Isn't it a fact that if President Biden had discovered life on Mars when he was president, he would have immediately sent it money?
I don't believe so.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, I appreciate your newly found fiscal conservatism. Mr. Bier, you seem to be a very smart guy, and you seem to be a nice enough guy.
Thank you, Senator. You seem smart as well.
Jack.
Don't.
That was the chairman, not me.
Don't you think your hyperbolic statements undermine your credibility?
What hyperbolic statement did I make?
On February the 11th, 2026, you posted on Bluesky, quote, my words, or your words, not mine. The Democrats' video telling service members to ignore illegal orders didn't go far enough. They should have also urged them to refuse.
The moment the senator pulls up the digital receipts, the temperature in the room shifts instantly. This isn't just a line of questioning, it's a systematic deconstruction of credibility. By forcing the witness to confirm his own words, Kennedy removes the ability to claim he was taken out of context later. It reveals a growing divide in Washington where online rhetoric meets the cold reality of a federal record, leaving the witness with a binary choice: stand by the extreme or admit to hyperbole. Do you think public officials should be held accountable for their social media posts years later, or is this just political theater? Drop a comment below right now.
Unethical orders, whether illegal or not. There are many things deemed legal that are still obviously unethical, and everyone should hold themselves to this higher law. End quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe you did. Do you disagree with it? You think people should do unethical things in their capacity
On December the 31st of 2025, you posted in front of God.
But wait. Do you disagree with what I said?
Let me finish my question.
I'm sorry.
Answer, sir. Sure. In front of God and country, you said, quote, they, referring to Republicans, think they can troll their way into us accepting ethnic cleansing. End quote. Your words, not mine. Did I read that correctly?
That was in regard to a Department of Homeland Security post about advocating 100 million deportations. That is what DHS has tweeted from their own account. 100 million deportations would be ethnic cleansing. You would be removing 1/3 of the country. So yes, there are people within the Department of Homeland Security.
And you don't think this is hyperbolic? Give me 30 more seconds.
I think advocating 100 million deportations is
I'm having fun here,
ethnic
Mr. Chairman.
cleansing.
On February 5th, you quoted you said the following on Bluesky.
Your time's up.
These are all good, but there's no enforcement mechanism. I'm sorry. Let me try a better one. On March 2nd, you said, quote, if you rule against Trump's population purge agenda, no hyperbole there, the nativists will name you, threaten you, and come after you. These judges are much braver than the ICE agents who hide behind masks while violating the Constitution.
They are much braver. They put their names on their rulings and they stand behind their constitutional rulings. When I talk about population purge, I'm talking about the fact that they're trying to deport U.S.-born citizens, people born here. They are trying to deport them as well. So it's not a mass deportation agenda. It is also an agenda intended to reduce the population of the United States, including U.S.-born people.
Thank you.
These are not hyperbolic statements. I appreciate you reading my account. I appreciate your research.
Here's the good news.
What planet did you just, wait a minute, Mr. Chairman, what planet did you just parachute in from?
No. Hey, guys.
You trigger my gag reflex, Mr. Bier.
So we got a process here, and it's good to know you don't have an agenda. Senator King.
Mr. Chair, thanks for doing this. And Sheriff, welcome. I've got a Virginian.
What we just witnessed wasn't merely a heated exchange. It was a masterclass in the confrontation of record. In the modern political landscape, the digital trail we leave behind has become the most potent weapon in congressional hearings. Senator Kennedy didn't just stumble upon these posts. He curated them to create a narrative of instability and extremism. But let's look deeper at what this actually represents for the American taxpayer. On one side, you have the argument of the witness, David Bier, who suggests his language, no matter how inflammatory, is a necessary alarm bell for what he perceives as a population purge. From his perspective, the urgency of the situation justifies the vocabulary of ethnic cleansing. Supporters of this view would argue that in a world of sanitized political speech, someone needs to use words that actually match the perceived gravity of the actions being taken by the government. However, the critics see something entirely different. They see a witness who has traded objective analysis for partisan activism, rendering his expert testimony essentially useless for policymaking. When Kennedy asks, "What planet did you parachute in from?" he isn't just being colorful, he is signaling to the public that the witness's reality is fundamentally detached from the consensus. It raises a terrifying question that nobody is asking. If our experts and our leaders cannot even agree on the definitions of the words they use, how can they ever agree on a solution for the border? Think about what this means if you are sitting on the other side of this. If the Department of Homeland Security is being accused of ethnic cleansing by the very people called to advise the government on its budget, the system isn't just broken, it's in a state of internal war. Why now? That is the question. We are seeing a shift where the Senate floor is no longer a place for debate, but but a stage for the ultimate gotcha moment. The mainstream narrative will focus on the gag reflex line because it's a perfect soundbite, but they are missing the broader context. This is about the death of the neutral expert. Every person brought before these committees now carries a digital shadow that can be weaponized in seconds. It forces us to ask if we want our policy shaped by data or by the most viral tweet of the week. If this is the analysis you are not finding anywhere else, you already know what to do. The fallout from this hearing will likely ripple through the next series of budget negotiations, as the trust between the committee and these advocacy groups has been incinerated on live television. This isn't just a bad day for a witness. It's a signal that the era of polite disagreement is officially over. This story is far from finished, and the consequences of these labels, ethnic cleansing and population purge, will haunt the legislative record for years to come. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, and comment below.